Hello and welcome to the series final of the Automobilista Australia F3 Development Series. This week we are at Interlagos, world famous Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And this week we've been joined by Josh Ben in the commentary box. How you going, Josh?
Yeah, good. How about yourself?
Pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. So, Josh, do you know much about this Interlagos circuit? Were you out there doing some laps before that we didn't see?
Oh, look, I tried to anyway. I've currently at the moment, my pedals are playing up, so I tried to do the Billy Whiz hand controls, and safe to say Billy's a bit better at it than me. So I managed to crack a 135, but no, it's an awesome little circuit. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys go.
Well, it's not a bad effort considering, obviously, I don't think you've would have used hand controls before, and you probably don't have the right equipment for it, unlike old, uh, old Whiz Kid. So, that being said, though, in these cars, they sort of suit him a little bit. Obviously, got some long straights, but you've got some fast corners, and you've got some slow ones that you've got to really, really concentrate for, because it's very easy to lose it under braking in a couple of corners. Turn 1 in particular, I found very easy to lose the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very deceptive corner, turn one. Actually, a lot of the corners here are very deceptive. It seems like you can go in a lot faster than what you actually can, and you end up losing the rear mid corner just because you're carrying that much speed. So, um, yeah, these guys that we actually noticed a lot of these guys did well over or close to 40 laps, just in the practice beforehand. So. They're definitely trying to get their heads around the track before they come out for this qualifying session.
And despite being a Grand Prix circuit, it is a fairly short lap for these cars as well, being, I think, the fastest time in practice of 1:28.6. So, that time for Grand Prix circuit, pretty short. Anyway, we're in the qualifying session now, and I do believe Turmo will be the first one to start a lap, so we'll follow him around and see how he navigates. He said at 129.7 as a personal best in practice. There's a little bit of a lock up into turn 1, but he hasn't run wide there. And in fact, it's not too bad a run through the centre S there. So 1, 2, and flat out through turn 3. Coming up to the first split line just before turn 4 here. 22.6. So we do have a live races up if you want to check out the live timing that's going on right now. That's how we keep up with what's going on through qualifying. So as we keep an eye on turn, we also keep an eye on live races to see how other people are doing, and Whitmore 23.1 in the first split. So far though, fairly tidy lap for Turmo. Ooh, a little bit of a lock up there, but it is very easy to do as the inside tyre is unweighted. Same here in this left-hander in the middle sector. Again, pretty much every corner on the circuit that you have to brake for, you've got to do some kind of trail braking if you want to maximise the lap time. So you will see a lot of smoke and a lot of locked brakes. Coming out of well, it is not technically the last corner, but all these little left-hand kinks are flat out and aren't regarded as a corner in any kind of motor car. So it crosses the line, 30.1, so not the worst, but still, it's a benchmark of sorts. And of the times I've seen, the sector times I've seen at the moment, it's not too bad a lap. So Whitmore 31.5, so solid start for Turmo at the moment. And Miles 33.3, so not a bad lap from him. Brownie
That's
30.
a very big improvement for Miles.
I did
He was in practice.
Yeah, I didn't catch where he was in practice, but he's not too far off the pace there. Cracker jumps up to 4, 32.8 for him. I was going to say Brownie 31.8. Who else we got out on track at the moment? Looks like we'll be waiting a little while for Steve Bolger, newcomer Mac Mittens, which I do believe is Brendan Ross, as well as got Ricky Slick and Matt Williams both in the service. So a lot of people were thinking that Ricky Slick was Matt Williams, but it appears not, as Matt Williams and Ricky Slick in the server currently. Obviously, Ricky Slick is, after the final race at Suzuka, has been crowned champion with an insurmountable points lead over Brendan Rossley in second, who is not here anyway. Well, supposedly he's not here, but
we'll call it here in spirit.
It's here in spirit. See Matt Williams now out on the circuit, and a bit of a drift there through turn 4 on his outlap. So his tyre's not up to pressure or temperature. These cars don't have tyre warmers, so that's why you'll see him weaving on his outlap. And when he does begin his flying lap, we will pull him around on board. Just trying to have a look and see if anyone else is out on the circuit.
Looks like Luke Joyner and Steve Bolger have just entered the track.
So they're both out on the circuit, but Matt Williams is the one that is furthest down the road, so we'll follow him. He's just coming up to what is essentially the final corner. There's the old cafe chicane that the touring cars do navigate. And the pit lane to the left hand side. And away we go. Down into turn 1, we'll be braking around about 50 metres, probably just after that. He's down to second gear, a little bit wide there for turn 2, but smooth exit for turn 3. So I don't know, Matt Williams was fastest in practice, 28.6. He's up by 2 tenths in the first split as well. Double right-hander, one of my favourite corners in the world actually, this double right-hander. Flip down a gear and just power through. You want to stay a bit wide and set yourself up for this braking corner right-hander. Now nice and early. Don't lock up and run wide through here. The apex a little bit better. If you don't go too far to the inside of these cars, you can spin it, so so far for Williams on 1.6, so this is looking like a very, very handy lap. This is looking like a mid-28 here. But I do believe Matt Williams and Mac Mittens were running a fair amount of wing on their cars. They were about 6-7 k's slower than the other guys. Top speed in there is 28.3, fastest lap of the weekend. Is going to take a fair amount of beating.
So that was a very impressive lap. He was very committed to a lot of those corners there, especially turn 1. That was nice to see.
It was a very, very smooth lap. There was nothing really that stood out where he looked like he was flinging the car anywhere. Just nice and smooth. Very, very comfortable out there, and a very, very quick lap time.
Yeah, he seemed to just have a lot of confidence coming into each corner, knowing that what he had underneath him was going to make that turn. So yeah, great lap.
It's very, very difficult to beat. Now we've got our champion Ricky Slick out there, and sporting a new car. Others might not see it, but on the stream it is a gold car, the big Confederate number 1 on it, to match his Confederate driver suit, American flag / Confederate helmet as well. He's going out in style. I do believe that's Brendan Ross, Mac Mittens in front of him on the road. So just follow Ricky Slick around and see how he goes.
Bit of a lock-up into turn 1 there.
Yeah,
so it looks like he's held it pretty well through there.
It's still pretty solid through the centre S. Didn't look like he would have lost much time, that's for sure. He's up by half a tenth as well. And this final sector is where you earn your crust through here. Right-hander. It's a fair amount of time to be won and lost, and the brake is immediately after. He's had to lift off a little bit there, so he's not fully committed, which is a bit unlike Ricky Slick. We've had Steve Bolger set a time. He set his 1:28.9. He was actually fastest in the first sector, but fell away quite a bit in the middle sector. And Ricky Slick down by 3.5 tenths at the second split line. So had a decent exit out of the final corner there. But I don't think he'll make up too much time. The final sector is essentially just that one corner, and then it's flat out to the start-finish line. And that is a 28.9, so he's, well, the smallest of margins in front of Steve Bolger. 1 millisecond right there. So he'll start on the front row. So Matt Williams, Ricky Slick. Many people thought they were the same person, but evidently not. Matt Williams will start on pole, Ricky Slick alongside. Steve Bolger just couldn't hold on. Millisecond behind Ricky Slick in the end there, but 3 tenths in front of Mac Mittens. Alright, well, with that we'll just take a short break as I've got to conduct the driver's briefing, but we shall be back and we'll go over the driver's standings and we'll see how we think tonight's racing will go. But yeah, we'll be right back. Alright, and welcome back to the Automobilista Australia F3 development series from Interlagos. Still got a few minutes left in the old warm-up here. Yeah, got about 4.5 minutes to go through. So with that, we can go through the championship standings. If you just bear with me for a second. Alright, so as you can see on your screens, championship standings after round 7 at Kansai / Suzuka. Ricky Slick, as you can see his name in gold, he is the series champion on 439 points coming to this round. Brendan Ross didn't quite have the pace all season, showed glimpses of it, and at Monza, barring couple of little errors, would have made the championship a little bit more interesting, but blew his engine there. And then Turmo, he's moved up quite a lot as of late, as has Wayne Whitmore. So Turmo 275 plays Whitmore 268. Look, Joyner has been in third place, I believe, since Monza, since the start. So poor showing last time out. He did miss the first race, I believe, at Kansai. So that's dropped him. So down a couple places in the standings. I've got Steve Bolger 235. Again, he's showed glimpses of pace all season and series long, but just hasn't been able to put the consistency together, and just our little mistakes here and there have cost him quite badly. Because pace-wise, you'd think that he could battle for the championship, because he has been right there in a lot of qualifying sessions and pace-wise, but just has the spinner race, which in these short races hurts you quite badly. And then we have Brownie 127. He's moved up, I believe he was 10th at the Suzuka round, or prior to the Suzuka round, so he's jumped up 3 spots. Then we have Glenn Miles, who was absent for the last round, and at the GT3s and TCC as well, but thankfully he's back this week. His body is thankfully not as crooked this week, so good to see him back. He's on 105 points, and River Whisper on 100, and Cracker on 95 points. Alright. So Josh, after that qualifying session and what we've seen in practice, how do you think this race one's going to play out?
You know what? I couldn't say for certain. The top end looks pretty tight, to be honest. After what we saw in practice, there's easily 4 or 5 cars that look like they're not even within half a second of each other. So it's going to be very interesting to see, especially with slipstreams and whatnot on a track like this. Nice long straight. So look, can't wait to see. Even the midfield looks pretty good actually. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how this one turns out.
Yeah, once again, we've sort of got a couple groups of cars. We've got sort of that front three of sort of Matt Williams, Ricky Slick, and Steve Bolger. With I guess Mac Mittens isn't too far away as well. But then after that, you've got sort of the next sort of pack, which is a little bit back from the front four, but between themselves is very, very close. So should have a couple great scraps, and also going over some stats from when I was in the server and then looking at live races as well. I think, yeah, the slipstream's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've got a couple really, really long straights, so you do need a bit of power and straight line speed around here. And it's going to be interesting because we have Matt Williams on 231 Ks as his top speed, Mac Mittens 232, Ricky Slick 232, but then we have Steve Bolger and Turmo on 237 and 236.7. So... And then we also have Wayne Whitmore 236.8. So all those guys got a couple Ks on the front runners down the straight. So if they can just stick by and hang on in that middle sector there, there'll certainly be a chance into turn 1 and turn 4.
It'd be very interesting. The top guys must be running a little bit of less aero or something like that. But yeah, it's interesting how the mid pack were able to get even up to utmost of 5Ks more in a straight line. That's massive.
Yeah, so that is something to look out for, and I think it's something we'll see at the start of the race in particular. If we see Bolger get a decent start. All he has to do really, if he ends up getting himself into the lead, because he's going to have that straight line speed advantage, is just to stay there. If he doesn't make a mistake, you could see him obviously hold guard. So that straight line speed will be important, but for his sake, he can't throw it off the road and lose that toe or drop off in that middle sector. So he's going to have to do that's where he's going to have to really concentrate, because he should have quite a bit of an advantage in the first and last sectors.
Yeah, the two big ones, realistically.
Yeah, well, the final one's just one corner, and then it's that run to the start-finish line. It's a big one.
3 corners, mate.
With bunny ears, it's 3 corners. But and then obviously the run end of the first split is obviously the first 3 corners there. So that's where we're going to look for Steve Bolger to find his time, and then in the middle sector, Ricky Slick, he found, I think it was a good 1.5 seconds or so as the drivers form up on the grid. We've got one car sort of drifting back there, trying to find out who that was actually. That was Turbo actually sort of drifting back. But anyway, formation lap is underway. As you can see on your screen, Ricky Slick will lead us away from pole position. And then we've got in second place there, we have Ricky Slick in his gold Formula 3 car. See the drivers frantically warming up their tyres. And Steve Bolger will start in third place. So he's a good shout to lead. Maybe not into turn 1 if he gets an average start, but certainly it'll be a chance. If he gets away okay and has a decent run through the first 3 corners, it'll be a chance for taking the lead right there into turn 4. But he starts third, and McMittens alongside him in 4th place. Behind him, Turmo in 5th. He's another one to look out for with that straight line speed advantage as well. He's got 236.7 on the straight, which is about 0.3 or so behind Steve Bolger. And you have Luke Joyner in 6th place, followed by Wayne Whitmore in 7th. He's fallen away a little bit as the season has gone on. Bit of a shame. He started the season very, very quick, but perhaps hasn't had as much time as he did early in the season to get some practice in. Either way, he'll start 7th for race 1 this evening. Then behind him, Brownie in the Red Bull liveried car. He'll be starting in 8th place, followed by Cracker in 9th. And then Glenn Miles in the BWT Force India / Racing Point-esque livery. Another thing of note is there's a lot of rubber down out on the track at the moment, so you can see some marbles as well. See, for the second and third races, there won't be as much as that. You see, we've had a big, long 1-hour practice session in the lead-up, plus qualifying for the start of this first race, but there won't be as much for races 2 and 3, so that's why we might see lap times drop off a little bit, but we might see times improve because drivers obviously know the limits of the track and might make some setup tweaks to make them go just a little bit faster as well. Alright, so just waiting now for Cracker to form up. Like Grant Miles was out of position just a little bit. Alright, we're formed, getting ready on the grid. 5 lights. Away we go. Looks like Bolger got away nicely. Got a bit of a slide on. Terrible start. Well, looked like a terrible start for Matt Williams, but he did get away. Did bog down a little bit, but Steve Bolger up into second. Rick Slick down to third place. And looks like that's Mac Mittens all over the back of Ricky Slick. Looks like Luke Joyner may have moved up a spot 2 in the background. So Matt Williams leads. Now the big question going through this middle sector, can Steve Bolger hold on, or is he just going to be a roadblock for Ricky Slick and Mac Mittens behind in the middle sector, as we see Ricky Slick having a look, the fast double right-hander. He's having a look once again. Oh, a bit of a lock up there for Steve Bolger's ran wide, and that's ceded position to Ricky Slick. So Ricky Slick back up to second, Steve Bolger back to where he started. And now he's going to have to deal with Mac Mittens, who's going up the inside and almost ran up the back of Ricky Slick, but around goes Mac Mittens. He's very, very ambitious.
Well, that has to be painful watching the whole field drive by on the first lap. That was a big send for Mac up the inside there. Obviously got all fours locked up, so unfortunately looked like the move was on, but he just wasn't able to pull it up in time.
Yeah, probably on the brakes just a little bit too late, and then put too much force down on the brakes. His rear end getting too light, and around he went. So right on board Steve Bolger through turn 1. Fairly close to Slick, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. As Slick moves to the inside to try and break the toe and back out to the racing line. He's gaining his Bolger. He's just going to have to be a bit faster in the middle sector, I reckon. As you can see, a lot of aero push there, running wide there at turn 4. Right before we actually see how much time he loses through this middle sector compared to Ricky Slick. Now, Williams up the road. He's gone for the moment. 1.8 seconds in front of Steve Bolger. 1.5 seconds in front of Ricky Slick. Oh, bit of a lock up, bit of a slide there for Ricky Slick in front. Which encouraged Steve Bolger a little bit, but he's actually lost a little bit of time through this middle sector. He seems very, very conservative at the moment. Pushing as hard as he can, or at least visually it looks that way. But perhaps he's just trying to be consistent throughout this one and just pick up a nice result. In fact, he's got Turmo not too far behind either. Jock Brownie is 3.5 seconds behind. Behind them, looks like Cracker's got a bit of a run on Luke Joyner. He's going to have a look up the inside. So Cracker decides better of it. Looks like a bit of lag and Brownie goes around. I don't know if that's a server or just Cracker there. Just, yeah, just warping around just a little bit. It's made that look a little bit awkward than what it should have been. And yeah, it does say he's in 10th place, but we do know he's right behind Luke Joyner on the circuit. So that should update itself when Cracker jumps over the next split line, sector 2. Luke Joyner now. He's not too far away from Turmo in front. So Turmo, a sector ago, was not too far away. Steve Bolger, but I think he's made a mistake because he's long gone. He's made another one there, and he's wide. He's off, and that's Luke Joyner up to 4th place. Turmo might lose out to Cracker behind. It doesn't say it's for position now, but it should update itself. Yep. No, it still hasn't updated itself. That's a bit weird. Hopefully it does soon. Or perhaps Cracker's actually missed the timing. Oh no, he's just warped. He's disappeared. So unfortunately, internet connection issues for Cracker, and he's disappeared. Which is a bit weird. Normally they vanish a bit earlier than that when there's internet connection issues. But there was some kind of warning as it wasn't coming. His name wasn't updating on the splits. Once again, Steve Bolger fairly, well, he's within the edge of the slipstream of Ricky Slick coming into turn 4 as Slick locks up just a little bit there. And very wide for Slick, but not quite close enough again.
Bolger is definitely holding in there. He seems to not so fast throughout the corners naturally with a bit of aero wash, but that speed down the straight is pretty significant. He's got close to 240 at one stage, 239 he hit on lap 2. So this sort of slipstream's definitely helping him stay in the game.
And he's just driving a little bit more consistently, a bit more smooth. He's not making as many of those mini errors as Ricky Slick in front, who's been locking up and missing apexes quite often, especially on this lap. Bulging gets a little bit twitchy on the exit there. But I think once again we'll see him around about where he was at the sector 1 point. Well, around about the same gap as what it was last time. So 29.6 for Bolger, 29.7 for Slick. So a tenth faster on the last lap. But both just a little bit slower than Matt Williams in front. They've dropped Turmo and Joyner, and Turmo's got his way back past Luke Joyner. So I reckon Joyner must have made a mistake somewhere. And they've got 3.5 seconds over Mittens, who has got past Wayne Whitmore, as well as Brownie and Miles. Whitmore having a look into turn 4, but pulls out of it.
Actually, I think he might have been able to pull that move off there. Mac was definitely looking in his mirrors. He went wide. He actually had a bit of rear end push, so he could have made that move stick, but probably smart not to. There might have been a little bit of catastrophe.
He was a fair way back, so it would have been an ambitious attempt, but he would.
Nothing like a big send.
But
oh.
We've got yellows out somewhere, so someone's
actually, just as we say that, Wayne Whitmore spun. That's
and he spun again, so
yellows.
Just cut to that to have a look at that. Yes, he's just a bit too eager on the loud pedal, and around he goes. Got another yellow out there as well. Oh, that's sliding for a bit more. And we've got Bolger side by side up the inside of Ricky Slick into turn 1. Slick sweeps in front of him, but Bolger should have the better line through turn 2, and he's actually going to have to get out of it. Doesn't look like he did that. Might have even given Slick a couple of little light nudges there. Slick immediately to the inside. He's going to make Steve Bolger earn this one around the outside. And Slick later on the brakes. Again, Bolger trying to get him on the switchback, but actually no, he will be close enough, but again, he's going to be on the outside. Uphill fast corner, and he's done it around the outside. So ballsy pass there from Steve Bolger. Now he's got he's got to contend with Slick. He's going to try and go around the outside, but he almost ran up the back of Bolger in the braking zone there. Thankfully contact was avoided. Matt Williams now 4.2 seconds out in front, but I reckon that'll go up just a little bit more in the middle sectors. These two battle it out. And we've got a yellow flag out in the first split.
Looks like Glenn Miles is off the road there.
Yeah, it's off the faux final corner there. Now Ricky Slicky is in slipstream range, but I'm sure he'll have the top speed to stick with Bolger down this main pit straight here. In fact, yeah, he's just edging away is Bolger down the straight. But he's much better under braking his Ricky Slick, so he's got a lot more downforce on the car. That's why he's braking so much later, and he's quicker through that middle sector, but doesn't have the top speed that Bolger has, and that's why Bolger's able just to eke away a little bit in the slipstream.
It's actually going to be very interesting, this bit scrap here. We're just having a look at both cars' speedos, and Ricky in the slipstream was actually hovering around the same, if not just a tad slower. So obviously running a lot more aero for corner speed, but I don't know how well that's going to play in his favour here.
Yeah, if he's going to get a move done, he's going to have to hope he gets it done probably at turn 4, and then he's going to have to put a gap on in this middle sector here. But if Bolger doesn't make too many mistakes in this middle sector, I don't think he's really going to give Ricky Slick too many opportunities. So I think if Bolger keeps it nice and clean through here, gets a nice exit out of this faux final corner. Oh, he got a little bit of a slide on, but Slick was very, very wide as well. It's going to make it difficult for him. That said though, Slick is a lot closer than what he was last time, and he'll be getting much better slipstream effect down the pit straight, as you can see on the screen. And Bolger goes defensive early. He's going to try and make Slick go around the outside, which he might be able to do. He is able to brake late and does have more downforce. He's going to try it. No, he's going to try the switch back. And Bolger holds on for now.
Ricky did have a couple Ks extra there on the straight, so he must have got a much better exit to hawk down Bolger there. So it's
He's very late on the brakes, almost collected. Bolger in the back there. That's going to drop him back a bit, but he should gain that up in the middle sector. I've actually had a change of position between Mac Mittens and I believe that's Luke Joyner. And Mac Mittens out, broke himself a little bit. And Joyner's going to try and get him on the switchback. So Joyner not wanting to give up that position. But Mittens does have the inside. Did see Bolger try, well, get the position around the outside there, but Luke Joyner not able to do that. He's got a bit of a slide on, and he's in the wall, I think. Our camera's lost him. I don't think he's got too severe a damage, but he's got a big gap to Whitmore behind, so he will stay in 6th. But as you can see on your screen there, those are little flickering dark spots on his tyres. They would be severe flat spots. So he's driving on 4 50-cent pieces, I think, for the final 4 laps of the race.
I hope he doesn't have a full direct drive wheel. That'd be a pain in the ass, so to say.
His wheel, hopefully, his force feedback isn't too high regardless, because his wheel would be shaking the desk like crazy. It'll be interesting though, actually, to see if Mac Mittens can close down on Turmo and nab a 4th place at the death. He does have a little bit of time to do it, and he does have pace, but time will be against him. So
I think it'd be best to see over this lap, just to see what sort of gap he's able to hawk down. If he gets back into 4th, he's made a fantastic recovery.
Turmo is pushing, as you can see. The exit of turn 4 there, in practice when I was out there doing a couple of laps, you can actually run, and we have seen in other series, in GD3, and I do believe in when we run rookies and touring cars around here, drivers can run very, very wide on the exit of turn 4 there, not get pinged for a track cut. So that's why you will see drivers on the exit of turn 4 there go completely off the road. But if you do that at turn 2, you will get a track cut. And there might be a couple other corners as well where if you run wide you do pick them up, but at turn 4, for whatever reason, you don't get them. So that's why drivers are taking full advantage of that. So you see, Mac Mittens very, very sideways out of the right-hand hairpin there. He has gained a little bit on Turmo in front, 2.7, now 2.2, so he is a chance. He is a chance. So he needed pretty much a second a lap to close in on the final lap. It's the way he's going, he'll close that down before the end of the race. And he could go a little bit quicker as well, because that slide of his coming out of the hairpin would have cost him a bit of time.
Just head back to the front of the field very quickly. Ricky Slick, he's held, he's very slowly catching Steve Bolger, about a 10th a lap from what I've been monitoring. So I don't have anything with me to be able to check the times, but just from what I've been watching, about a 10th a lap. So not enough at this stage to get back the lead, though still right in the game. If Bolger makes any mistakes at all, he's Ricky Slick could definitely capitalise on that.
I think in the last lap, looking at live race, it's actually 3/10 fast, and as you can see, he's right behind Steve Bolger at the moment. It's all going to be this downhill left-hander. Slick's going to have to stay in there. He's going to get aero, which, as you can see, that's why he's a little bit wide and actually had to get out of it a little bit. But he's going to need a good run out of here. But he hasn't had the greatest run through there, but he is close enough to get a decent slipstream and tow down to turn 1. But I don't think he's going to have top speed once he pulls out to get the move done into turn 1. Falls Bolger to stay on the racing line. Because he's going to compromise himself in turn 1, so he's going to have to go a bit slower. Stick right behind him. He'll have a great. He's giving himself a great chance in turn 4. Bolger recognises that, goes defensive early. Slick's going to try and go around the outside. I reckon he might do it here. He can brake later. He's going to try it. Both very, very late on the brakes, but Ricky Slick will hold on. Bolger had to get out of it with that little slide he had, so Ricky Slick now back up to P2. But I don't think we'll see Bolger give that one up easy. Behind them, Mac Mittens has caught Turmo as well. So we're going to have two very hardly fought battles. The final lap and a half. Also, Bolger has stuck with Ricky Slick for now. Behind them, bit of a lock up for Turmo. Mac Mittens right there. I reckon we'll see him get the job done with the pace he's shown last couple of laps. In front of them though, Bolger is going to need a good run out of the final corner because Ricky Slick's actually just eked away a nice little gap there in the middle sector. He's not quite in the slipstream range either, so nice job from Ricky Slick in the middle sector there to break that gap. Up a bit, but all the Bolgers ran wide at turn 1. I reckon that's killed his chances now. Barring a mistake from Ricky Slick. I reckon first and second have been decided. Behind them though, Ackman's all over the back as he slides through turn 2, and Turmo's very, very wide on the exit. It's going to be wide of turn 3 as well, but should hold on into turn 4. So what can Ackman's do in the middle sector though? Steal P4 at the death. Nice and close to the upper right. Lock up for Turmo in front, and he's missed the apex. Now, next corner, you can't quite switch back, but as you can see, it's right there. Probably going to force Turmo to go defensive. No, Turmo doesn't go defensive, and then Max sees that coming and just sends it up the inside and gets the job done. So very, very nice move. Looks like Turmo's just going to try and stick it in the middle of the road and force Mac to make a decision, but Mac made it early, gets the job done, and Matt Williams off screen, as you saw on your screen there, winner of race 1 from pole position. Ricky Slick will take P2 with Steve Bolger P3 in the end, and we've got a drag to the line. But Mac Mitten's taking it, and Turmo in P4, or P5 I should say. Actually cut to a replay of that to see just what had happened. Right in on Turmo. He got a decent exit, and yeah, that's right. He carries a little bit more, or a little bit less wing than Mac Mittens in front. Got in the slipstream, but just wasn't enough. There's another lap. He would have had him back into turn 1, but obviously that was the final lap. Luke Joyner finishing in 6th place there. Wayne Whitmore in P7. And now got Brownie coming out of the faux final corner, and he will finish in 8th place, while we have Glenn Miles, who's already finished 1 lap down in 9th, with Cracker our only DNF.
Tell you what, Mac was very smart there to put it on the outside, coming up to the line, taking the traditional racing line rather than sending it through what I would call the qualifying line. He was, I believe that was probably the difference between coming 4th or 5th.
Yeah, it was a very, very clever move. He had to make it early. If he sort of dawdled on it, he would have been left with nowhere to go. And once he saw that Turmo sort of parked his car in the middle of the road, he saw that little bit slither of a gap, and he sent it up there. And he boxed out Turmo, and it was job done. In fact, we'll try.
Very Daniel Ricciardo-esque.
Certainly was. I was going to actually try and go back, trying to go back and have a look at a replay of the move, but server has switched over or has restarted the weekend. So it will be just a little bit of a lull here as we go back into second qualifying session. But all things all, obviously Ricky, all in all, Matt Williams obviously fantastic drive, but a couple fantastic battles there between Ricky Slick and Steve Bolger, both with different setups on their cars, and then we had Mac Mittens obviously fighting back very nicely after his spin early on to Nick P4 in the end there. Alright, well, just skipped it straight over to the second qualifying session of the evening. Obviously this race will decide the starting grid for not only race 2 but also race 3, but for race 3 it will be in reverse order for those drivers that do finish a lap, or a timed lap, that is. So it will be interesting actually to see. I wonder if Steve Bolger might actually tweak his setup a little bit, add a little bit of wing to his car just to find a bit of time in that middle sector, or if he doubles down or sticks with the lower, well, compared to see Ricky Slick and Mac Mittens, the lower downforce compared to those runners anyway, for we'll see the second race here. And session has gone green. Looks like Brownie will be the first one out on the racetrack. And I do believe there was someone else out there that did fire up their engine, so we might have another car out there as well very, very shortly.
I think you might find that was Bolger who decided to do a spin in the pits.
Oh yes, that certainly won't be good. He's now stuck. Oh, and he's almost been collected by one of the red and white cars out. I think that's trying to remember who that is. Who was that? Yeah, Steve Bolger almost collected. I think there must have been Glenn Miles that had spun on the exit of the pits there. Anyway, he's away. I don't think there's any damage done.
Actually, a few drivers are out on the track at the moment. Looks like everyone's decided to come out for qualifying.
Yeah, everyone is very, very keen to go out there and set a lap time. We'll see, it is a shootout, so and they've got 10 minutes to set one time lap. You try and do 2 time laps and you get DQ'd. So it's just a shootout, 1 lap dash for pole position. And yeah, we've got more than half the field. We've got 6 cars. 6 cars out on the racetrack. See, a bit of a slide through turn 1 there for Brownie. So he starts his lap. And 23.0 in the first split. So he's probably about 7 to 8 tenths off what you want to be in that first split there. He's had a crack through turn 4 there. Actually nice and hard.
Steve Bolger, next one to come up the field.
Just have a look at live races so you can continue to watch Brownie. Let's see what Bolger's able to manage in the first split. 22, so he's 22 zeros. He's pretty much a full second faster than Brownie in the first split. So Brownie's been alright in the middle sector so far. Right to the second split. Yeah, not too bad there. We've also had Whitmore 23.2 in the first split and 22.9 in the first sector. So Whitmore's not had a great run in the first sector there. 46.1 for Brownie in the middle sector. And he's going to cross the line 31.3. It's not the worst time in the world. In fact, I do believe that is a PB for Brownie. Yeah, 2 tenths faster. It was a 31.5 and now it's at a 31.3. So good effort from Brownie there. Oh, and Cracker's had a spin there in the middle sector just as we've cut to him. And he's not going to set a lap, so he'll start at the back of the field for both races. He should have just finished the lap, and he would have at least started on pole for the final race. But that's the end of that. As Steve Bolger sets a 29.3. Whitmore 31.9. So not a great lap by his standards. We've not Glenn Miles out there on a lap, and he's being passed by one of the silver and orange cars. So I think that's Mac Mittens. No, Luke Joyner, in fact. So Luke Joyner might have had his lap compromised there just a little bit. Luke Joyner setting a 1 minute 31.3. With Glenn Miles set a 33 in qualifying 1, but this time out to 38.3, so he's not had a good one. Looks like he's had a spin in the middle sector there, because he was about 4 seconds off in the middle split. So, I was going to say, have a bit of a lull as no one's exited the pits, but as I say that, Matt Williams has fired up the engine, and he's about to do an outlap for us with 4 3/4 minutes remaining.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah, so Ricky, so this much time left, we probably will see Ricky Slick out there pretty soon. Same with Turmo and Mac Mittens as well. None of those guys have set a time as of yet. So Josh, obviously you did do a couple laps, and obviously you couldn't use your pedals, but despite that, did do a couple laps. How did you find? What were your favourite parts of this Interlagos circuit?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of great parts of this circuit. Obviously, has a lot of history. Though with the Formula 3 car, it's an awesome car for this circuit. It really suits it quite well. Very much an open wheel track, I feel, with the high speed corners that use a lot of aero. Personally, I'd have to say the whole middle sector would be my favourite part of the track. I couldn't put it down to a corner. Maybe turn 4, just like yourself. I find that being able to use all the aero on the track, or the aero of the car, sorry, through each corner, especially on a track like this where it's so fast flowing, is really cool. It's awesome to be able to exert all the power of a Formula 3 car on such a high-end circuit, especially a Formula 1 grade circuit.
Yeah, I actually brought up a track map, and I do now remember the names of the corner. Obviously, this one here, turn 4 to Interlagos. That's both those corners there. And then coming up, there's 2 parts of this next corner. The first initial part is Ferradura, so that's the initial part, and then the exit part is Laranjinha, or Laranjinha, I can't pronounce it, these silly Portuguese names. Then Pinheirinho, this is this left-hander here. And this hairpin, Matt Williams, bit of a slide there on the exit there. This is Bico de Pato. And this long downhill left-hander is Mergulo, but I refer it as Matt Webb corner. A friend of mine that I've raced with over many years had a big accident there in a Formula 1 race and would have broken his legs if it was real life, as we see. Matt Webb 6.5 tenths up in the middle sector, and that faux final corner is Yung Kao. So Matt Williams.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have remembered any of those names.
28.4, so only a tenth slower. Only a tenth slower than his effort in Q1, so that's a fantastic consistency and a fantastic lap from Matt Williams, especially as he didn't quite nail the first sector, but obviously the middle and final sectors, he absolutely blitzed them to set a 28.4. Do have Ricky Slick out on the circuit, as well as Mac Mittens as well. Ricky Slick actually 2 tenths down on Mac Mittens, as we see Slick very, very wide there at Laranjinia.
And Mac Mittens was actually 2 tenths down on Matt Williams. So, yeah, it's pretty even play at this stage.
It's 3 tenths down in the first split, so it didn't lose too much time in the middle sector, but yeah, I think that first sector is going to come back to haunt him. And we'll go back to Ricky Slick. He's 1.1 down, so not a good lap for Ricky Slick. So he might be starting, or he'll probably be starting on the second row. Mac Mittens 29.0, so even still he's pretty much 6 tenths of a second away. Ricky Slick crosses the line, 29.8, so not a good lap for him. But I reckon we'll see him be nice and consistent in the race once again. So, don't believe Turmo's actually... Turmo hasn't set a lap. Obviously, Cracker was out on the circuit and set a lap, but Turmo hasn't actually left the pits, so... And obviously with no time left, he's not going to set a lap. So, just to go over qualifying results once again, as you can see in the left-hand side of the screen there, but Matt Williams will start on pole after setting a 28.468, and then 6 tenths behind is Mac Mittens. Steve Bolger, third place once again. Ricky Slick in fourth, so he's swapped positions with Mac Mittens, I believe, from qualifying one. Brownie in P5, solid effort from him. He set a PB, and then, well, not even half a tenth really, and a hundredth of a second away is Luke Joyner, both setting 31.3s, but Joyner will start sixth and Brownie in fifth. Whitmore set a 31.924. He'll start in 7th place. Glenn Miles will start in 8th. Turmo will start, well, Turmo or Cracker, because they didn't set lap times, and with AMS, it does set random positions for drives that haven't set a time. So on live races, it says Turmo will start 9th and Cracker 10th, but that could change. So yeah, we'll wait and see when the session does tick over to the race, and that will be in about 10 minutes time. But with that, we'll just take a short break, but we shall be back after this. welcome back to the the series final of the AMS Oz F3 Development Series. Currently in the warm-up session for the second race this evening, second of three. Got about 2.5 minutes left in the warm-up session. Had Matt Williams take pole and race win in race 1. He's on pole for the second race, which means he'll start towards the back of the field for the final race, with the final race being decided by qualifying, but in reverse order. But Josh, obviously we saw some good action and some good racing the last time out. Do you think Matt Williams can be challenged in this second race, or is he just that little bit too far ahead for the chasing pack to contend with?
I think if a couple of the drivers, I'd say Ricky Slick might have a chance. Considering that, I don't know. It's going to be hard. Like, in the reverse race will be a different story. I feel. Though in this race, I'm not too sure. I couldn't say. It's if Ricky tidies up just those couple little mistakes that he was making per lap, I feel like that started after lap 2. It couldn't be prevented. I feel like he could have a chance, though. They're saying that as well. Matt Williams, his 1 lap pace is unreal. It's so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Well, we did see that he was pretty consistent as well in the race, was Matt Williams, but he was aided by Ricky Slick and Steve Bolger battling it out. So I think the big thing for Ricky Slick is going to be the start. He's going to need a good start. He's going to need to get past Steve Bolger and not let Matt Williams get away at the start. Because if Matt Williams gets away, I think once again we'll see him just drive away from the field a little bit, and it'll just be a battle for second and third. So we see Luke Joyner having a little bit of a spin there at Aaron Jr. So we've got Matt Williams out there sliding it around a little bit. Time has expired now, and we're just waiting for session 2 tick over. Actually had a random join the server, Epoch. Obviously he must have the European F3 mod and he's joined the server. Hopefully he doesn't wreck things. But as the championships decided, we'll leave him out there. He should start at the back. But I think should he wipe everybody out at turn 1, we'll boot him and then have to restart the race. But has ticked over and has put Epoch in 9th place. So hasn't qualified. Turn 1 and Kraken were both here, but Epoch's moved up in front of him for the race start. So Randy on the leg up.
Mate, he's come in for an arrive and drive.
Yeah, as he did complete a lap. He was out there on the circuit in warm-up right at the end there, but he didn't complete a timed lap. So it remains to be seen how competitive he'll be. Waiting now for the drivers to form up on the grid. It'll actually be interesting to see if Epoch actually knows how many laps the race is and puts enough fuel in if he does stick around. Anyway, we are away. A lot of smoke being put down by the drivers as we begin the aforementioned lap. And just like race 1, Matt Williams leading us away.
Sorry to interrupt there, though. We've just had Wayne Whitmore almost take out another car, and we've had Glenn Miles spin before and during turn 1. So These guys must be trying to settle something from last race or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Well, it looks like Whitmore sort of was very, very close to the car in front there, and he did give Miles Miles and him did have a little bit of contact, but somehow Miles just went around, even though the contact was mild and looked very innocuous. So that's why Miles went around, but doesn't look like Miles has any serious damage. His wheels don't look bent, and he's still got all the wings on his car, so still going out there. But alright, just to go through the grid for everybody at home. So Matt Williams will start, or yes, will start from pole position once again. And behind him, we've got Mac Mittens. Steve Bolger will start in 3rd place, followed by Ricky Slick in 4th. Brownie will start in 5th after he set a personal best, 31.3 in qualifying 2, so good effort from Brownie. Then we have Luke Joyner in 6th place, who was, well, he was very, very small margin away, less than a tenth, well, less than even half a tenth between himself and Brownie, but he'll start in 6th place. Wayne Whitmore, as you saw early on this formation lap, just a little bit of contact, avoiding Brownie in front on the formation lap. He'll start in 7th place. Glenn Miles is to start in 8th place, but he's currently at the back of the field after having that spin. Randy Epoch, he will start in 9th place after showing up at the end of the warm-up there. Hopefully he doesn't cause any incidents. Termo will start in 10th, followed by Cracker in 11th place. Alright, driver's forming up on the grid. Brownie just a little bit out of position, but looks like he has found his grid slot, thankfully.
Is it me or is Bolger?
He's pointing a lot. Yeah, he's angled quite a lot to the middle. Got a good start last time. Oh, and a jump start. Matt Williams, he launched just a little bit too early, so that's going to blow this race wide open. There's a little bit of contact between Mac Mittens and Steve Bolger, and up the inside goes Ricky Slick, and we've got a spinner at the back there. Half spin there for Termo, so Termo now drops to the back of the field, and a bit of a mistake there from Glenn Miles, drops him back. But yeah, Matt Williams just jumped the start by, it would have been a tenth or two of a second, but there's a jump nonetheless. Looks like they're going to go 3 wide into turn 4. Bit of contact between Mittens and Slick. Slick's very, very well away from the racetrack there after that little bit of contact, and he's dropped behind both Mittens and Steve Bolger. Brownie hasn't, well, now Brownie is also right behind Ricky Slick. Luke Joyner hasn't, well, Luke Joyner and Whitmore haven't changed slots, but you'd think that Whitmore had moved up a spot, but he hasn't. And now Ricky Slick very quick in the middle sector, and with his higher wing compared to Steve Bolger, who's dropped off a little bit from Mittens. And now has to contend with Ricky Slick once again in the middle sector, but our pole sitter going to have to do things the hard way. He's going to need pretty much a miracle, really, to get a race win back. He's going to need everyone to have a spin, because a drive-through penalty in a 12-lap race is, well, that's a death sentence. He's going to continue. He's got he'll have 3 laps to serve it, so he's going to try and go as long as he can, by the looks of it, before he serves that penalty. So the effective race lead, Mac Mittens, followed by Steve Bolger, Ricky Slick, and then Brownie doing a solid job, followed by Luke Joyner. Wayne Whitmore, we've got 3 wide there, so Epoch, Cracker and Termo. Epoch on the inside, Cracker trying to get a good run on Termo. Epoch hasn't got great straight line speed, and around the outside goes Termo and Cracker. So that down 2 spots for Epoch, up a spot for Cracker, and up a spot for Termo. So these two much quicker than Epoch at the moment. And Miles must have had another spin there, because he's dropped well down the field and he's got a bit of grass on his tyres to boot. Up at the front though, 1.1 between Mittens and Williams. There's the front four. Fairly evenly spaced. There's Brownie, Joyner, Whitmore. Turmo's had a very good middle second. He's caught up to the back of Wayne Whitmore. So will Williams serve it this time? No, it looks like he's going to go around once again. So he'll serve it on this next lap where he'll have to serve it. Otherwise he'll get DQ behind them though. Bolt's had a good run out of the final corner. And he's easily going to make the move on Mittens into turn one. But Mittens is able to brake later with the downforce that he has. And he's going to hold on for now. So good racing. But I think Bolger, he should have the top speed down into turn 4 to get the job done if he can get up the inside and if he can brake just that little bit later and hold on the exit. But double move there from Mittens, but Bolger now sends it up the inside. Brakes a bit late, probably a little bit too late. Gets a little bit of a nudge from Mittens, but he will hold on, or he should hold on into Ferradura. These two battling as well. Slick right there as well, but for now, Steve Bolger holds on, but he's not going to be as fast as the two cars behind him through this middle sector, so he really is going to have to hold on. That's given Matt Williams a 2.7 second lead out in front, probably a little bit more now that they've been battling for a couple of corners, but he does have to serve a drive-through penalty, so that's a good 20-25 seconds with this long pit lane here at Interlagos.
Excruciating stuff for Matt Williams.
3.8 seconds, but I guess all hope isn't lost. If these guys continue to battle, obviously there is a chance that there could be a spin or two. Mittens right in the slipstream, as is Ricky Slick. But as they hit 6th gear though, Mittens doesn't quite have the top speed. He's right there, but if he does pull out of the slipstream, he's not going to have the top speed to get by. He's going to have to rely on braking later, and he is able to do that much better. But he's taken, it compromises his line through turn 2. Bolger's able to come in from a bit wider and set that exit up and get on the power a bit earlier. And he's going to have to slipstream into turn 4. So we've had Matt Williams serve his penalty. And he has come out in front of Glenn Miles. As you see Bolger make a move. He's outbroke himself a little bit. Mittens back up the inside. In fact, we'll see Ricky Slick make his way up to P2 now. As Bolger couldn't quite pull it up. In fact, Brownie's doing a pretty good job. He's not too far away either. 2.5 seconds in arrears. He's actually broken away from Joyner as well. So we've got Whitmore and Cracker having a nice battle. Just trying to have a look. Well, Matt Williams isn't actually too far away. So Matt Williams is behind Cracker, and Cracker is about 8.5 seconds behind Mittens in the lead, so he still is a chance, is Matt Williams, of a victory, but he's going to need those guys at the front to continue to duke it out. As Whitmore in front of Cracker now. That middle sector, Ricky Slick and Mittens, they've put a bit of time on Steve Bolger. Slick's got a bit of a slipstream on Mittens. He's not going to be close enough into turn 1, so he should probably just set himself up for a decent line through turn 1 and 2. A bit of a slide and knock off of Mittens. It's going to give Ricky Slick a decent run into turn 4, you would imagine. But he backed out of it, I think, just a little bit. He's not as close as what he probably should have been. But he's close enough for a move, though. He's having a look. Slick up the inside. Somehow didn't understeer into the side of Mittens. So good aware driving from Mittens, I reckon, just to unwind the steering wheel. But with that, it's held them both up, and now Steve Bolger is right back there with them as they continue to duke it out. Looking at the gaps, Matt Williams though is only 10.2 seconds behind this leading group. But Williams is going to have to get past Wayne Whitmore. He has a look right now, but isn't quite close enough to get the job done. And that's going to be the big thing for him. Oh, as he gives Whitmore a serve, and it looks like he's trying to redress the position. As Epoch goes around there. So actually, have a little bit of a look there. I think it's just so much better through Pinheiro. That he's caught out by Whitmore in front, who must have got on the brakes. Stay on board here. Yeah, a bit of a slide there for Whitmore. He didn't really need to get on the brake. You can carry a lot of speed through there. Unfortunately, sent him around and also held Matt Williams up. So that's probably killed his race for the win. But he could still possibly steal a 4th place if he drives the wheels off it. As we see, looks like Mittens and Foley, or sorry, not Foley, Slick battle it out.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there. There was actually a at one stage Ricky was actually in first. He put it straight up the inside though. Middens coming around the outside was able to set himself up nicely for turn 2. So whoa, this is a very tough battle.
Side by side, they're coming up to Ferradura. Slick gonna try and go around the outside like Bulge did, but doesn't quite have the speed. Probably thought about sending it up the inside there, but it's too fast a corner to really try and make it stick. As we see Mittens lock up a little bit there at Pinheiro, but being a little bit wider in the mid corner allowed him to get on the power a little bit earlier than Slick behind him. So he's been able to just hold a little bit of a gap there between himself and Slick. Steve Bolger is right there as well, but for Bolger, he's going to have to get a good exit out of Young Cow. This corner right here. Mittens gets a bit of a slide on. That's going to give Slick a bit of encouragement, and Bolger isn't too far away either. Right on board, Ricky Slick. So Mittens tries to make a nuisance of himself by moving around, and once again moves very, very late to the outside. Slick up the inside. Bolger's getting a toe off Slick in front, and behind them looks like a bit of duking out as well as Slick now into the lead. And Luke Joyner up the inside of Brownie into turn 1. But he ran wide there, lost the back end. He's had to cut through turn 2, and that's going to drop him behind Turmo, who was having a look at Brownie as well. Right on board with Turmo. Very racy at the moment. Going to try and get the job done into turn 4. He's got the overlap. Will he brake later? He does. Can he pull it up? He can, but Brownie's going to try and go around the outside. It will give him the inside to the next corner to Ferradura, and he's almost ran into the side of Turmo there. Shades of Sutil and Trulli in 09, but Brownie gets the job done. So great job by Brownie. He's ran too wide there at Pinheiro, but he did hold the position, then locked his front, and he's gone. He's off the road there, and that's dropped him behind Luke Joyner and probably give him a couple flat spots as well, just for good measure. Behind them, looks like Matt Williams has redressed that position to Wayne Whitmore, because he's behind him on the road. So that's good to see that he's redressed that position. At the front though, Ricky Slick's ran wide, as has Mittens just a little bit, but that's dropped Slick behind, and that'll probably give Foley, or not Foley, that'll give Bolger in behind that position as well. Bolger probably getting a little bit of a double toe, maybe, in fact. It's light going off though. Slick did stay in the slipstream zone of Mittens, and that's helped him as Slick has a look, well, probably goes a little bit defensive more than having a look, but Mittens blocks up, runs wide, compromises his run through turn 2, and that's given Slick a chance into turn 4. Bolger isn't too far away either, but he's run wide through 2 and 3, so he won't be close enough to make a move barring a mistake, but he'll follow the wheel tracks of Slick. Slick tries to make a move for the lead once again. He runs a little bit wide, a little bit of contact between himself and Mittens, but nothing to write home about. Mittens trying to hold on around there, so a little bit of contact again. Bolger right there as well, but he backs out of it. So great driving side by side once again through Ferradura. Mittens holds on once again, bit of a slide and lock up for Slick. It's going to give Bolger a chance to go up the inside, but he's not quite close enough to make the move stick. Great racing up the front here.
Sorry, Luke Joyner has spun.
He certainly has. Looks like coming out of Pinheiro. We'll have a look on the replay and see what he's done here. He was in front of Brownie as well when he'd done that. Yeah, so he's just ran a little bit wide and put a little bit too much. Too many G's on that rear right, and around she goes. But he's in front of Turmo, so I reckon Turmo must have made a mistake as well, because Turmo and Joyner were both in front of Brownie, and now Brownie is well, he's 6 seconds in front of those guys. And at the front though, Mittens still leads, but Ricky Slick right there, as you see Bolger bouncing off the curbs in the background there. And we got a bit of a snake forming there. That's his one move. It's Mittens. Slick has a look. Almost runs up the back of there, but Slick able to pull it up. There's some crazy racing between these two in this one. With 3 laps to go, Josh. Who's your tip for the win here? Because I can't pick it.
Mate.
Because
Oh.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind being actually Steve Bolger in this situation. Obviously, I think he's running less wing. If he, well, I'll just check actually the top speeds for this one and see if he has. But it's not a bad position to be in, just watching this, because we could see these two at the front just make a bit of contact, both go off, and then you find yourself in the lead.
Oh, absolutely, he's in a prime position at the moment. I think both of these guys up ahead. I know both of these guys want the race win, but I think they're also thinking about the bigger picture here. About if they can't get the win, at least get a podium. Look, I have a feeling Ricky might prevail, but don't quote me. It could be anyone's race at this stage.
Oh, they've gone side by side through turn 1 and 2. Good driving, no contact between the two of them. Slick, a bit of a snake going on here. Shades of Malaysia, I think 2011. Mittens has a look. Sides against it. It's cigarette paper between the top 3, and that's going to actually make Bolger lose out quite a bit. He's missing a bit of front, well, he's not missing front wing, but he hasn't got the downforce that these guys have, and with that aero push, he has been struggling, I've been noticing through Interlagos. That's turn 4 and 5. There's a bit of a slide there for Slick, and a bit of a lock-up for Bolger in the background. But I don't think it's cost them too badly. It's also, I think Brownie has also been caught by Joyner and Turmo as well in the background. It's a bit of a lock-up, and a half spin, so around goes Brownie, and a bit of contact with Turmo. I think Turmo had nowhere to go. And these guys in a bit of a cripple fight at the moment. Matt Williams is probably going to steal that position. He takes one of them. So he's past Turmo now, and he's closing down Cracker and Brownie, who's locked up once again. Looking at his tyres and the way he's locking up, Brownie's flat spotted those. He keeps grabbing it. So Joyner out on his own now a little bit for 4th place. At the front, Ricky Slick leads. Mittens not far away, and Bolger also just lurking a little bit there in 4th place. So these guys have a good 16 seconds over Luke Joyner. So barring a catastrophe, this will be a top 3, but we do not know what order it is going to be.
These top 2 are definitely pushing. They're really pushing the boundaries of these cars. You can tell just by the little lockups of the inside wheel coming through a lot of the turns here, and the little slides. They're really going for the win, both of these fellas.
As you see, Macman's using a lot of exit there at Virginia. It allowed him to gain just a little bit on Ricky Slick in front, but he's lost out to Pinheiro, and I think someone's had a spin in front of him. You can hear a car going slowly. Probably Glenn Miles. So hopefully, yes, it doesn't look like Glenn Miles around there. Hopefully, he gets out of the way for these guys. Oh, he's had a spin there, final corner. And he waits for Steve Bolger to go by and starts moving in. So thankfully, he listened to the driver's briefing, waited for the all clear to go. Did distract Mittens just a little bit, but he is in the slipstream. I was going to say he wouldn't be close enough into turn 1 to make it stick, but he is now. So side by side, they've got 1.5 seconds over Bolger. Mittens into the lead for now. Looks like Slick's going to try and get him on the switchback. And I reckon he's going to do it because he had a fantastic run through turn 2. He's right on the gearbox of Mittens in front. He's having a look already. Mittens forces Slick almost onto the grass and into the barrier there, but he does have a bit of an overlap now. Does Slick. And Slick into the lead for now. Oh, he's up on the undercut, and Mittens holds on around the outside. So great racing, but I don't think Slick carried enough speed through there. Probably should have got off the brake and would have made that stick. Either way, good racing. A little bit of a slide through La Virginia for Mittens. A little bit of a lock-up for Slick through S there. lap away. Still don't know who's going to win this one because it's going to come down to a drag, I'd imagine. Is the final lap. A bit of a slide there for Slick. That's going to compromise him a little bit, so I reckon Mittens might have one hand on it, but you never know. So 6/10 of a second. 6/10 of a second. Oh, and Slick just missed the shift there. He missed the shift, and that's going to cost him, and that will mean Mac Mittens will take race 2 by about 3/10 of a second. 4/10. Ricky Slick in P2. Steve Bolger in P3. Nice and consistent 2 races in a row. So it's a good job for Steve Bolger there. He goes straight back to the pits. Looks like Luke Joyner is going to take P4. But Matt Williams, after that drive through and then a little incident with Whitmore, does recover to finish in P5. And looking at lap times, he was the fastest man on the track towards the end of that race. He'll be quite frustrated with himself at the end there. Brownie finishing in P6. He'll be frustrated with a couple of little half spins there because he could have had a comfortable P4. Cracker will finish in P7. Turmo in P8. Epoch in P9. Whitmore P10. He'll be a little bit annoyed with himself and probably with Scruff just a little bit, but either way, Scruff did redress the position, I do believe. And then Glenn Miles making all cars finishing, and he's also floating in the air and upside down, and now he's back on his wheels. So Glenn Miles has learned how to levitate. And now we can see Mac Mittens doing doughies, and Ricky Slick as well. In fact, we'll zoom out and get double doughies, hopefully. A little bit of contact between the two. So Mittens, hurry up and do doughies. There we go. So these guys are very happy with the racing they've been able to produce in race 2. Hopefully see a bit more of that in the final race of the series. So Josh, second race of the evening. Once again, fantastic battle between Mittens, Slick and Bolger. How do you think race 3 is going to go? More of the same?
I don't know, mate. That was awesome. That race was awesome between the top 3 there. Bringing Matt back involved in it, it's going to be a very interesting race. Hopefully, it was a little bit unfortunate for Ricky having that slight interference with lap traffic. That was really the nail in the coffin for him. But you know what? This is going to be an interesting race. It'll be awesome to see how we finish the season off.
Yeah, we do know that Matt Williams is normally very, very good starter and another one of those drivers. Very similar to Ricky Slick and Brenton Foley in the touring car series, where they're able to, they're able to just move up a lot of positions from the back of the grid in these reverse grid races. So I think we'll see him certainly in the first lap or two move up a number of spots. So at least if form and how he goes in these reverse grid races is anything to go by, I'd have Matt Williams as a favourite, but the way the racing's gone in both the races this evening, I reckon it's going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, we did have that second group, as we said just before there. Fantastic battle between Brownie, Luke Joyner, and I'm trying to remember now. And Turmo, yeah, that's it. Those three having a fantastic battle there for 4th place in that second one. So I reckon we'll see that again, but I reckon this third race will be decided by whoever of that top 4 group gets to the lead first, I reckon.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, well, with that, we'll take a short break as we set the final grid of the series, but we shall be back. Alright, enough of that crappy, boring, copyright-free music, and time for 3 minutes of, well, boredom until race 3 starts. So, 3 minutes of warm-up remaining, and then we'll have the final race of the the Automobilista Australia Formula 3 development series. Now, a normal production crew would probably have some kind of like montage or something like that going, but I'm too lazy for that. I don't have the time, and I can't be stuffed putting one together. But it's been pretty fun season. There's been some boring races, obviously, but there's also been some fantastic racing. Obviously, the first 2 races this evening has seen some fantastic overtaking and battling, particularly between Ricky Slick and Mac Mittens. And hopefully that continues in the final race of the series. For those that don't know, the series will obviously finish this evening, and it will be replaced, at least for the time being, by a mod that Brendan Ross and Matt Williams have put together, sort of road car based physics, and quite a bit of fun to just bash around sort of club circuits and smaller national circuits. So that's something to look out for. That will be on Monday nights once this series is over, and it will be in between, obviously, touring car rounds. So do encourage people to grab the files and paint a skin and jump in for that one. I won't be streaming those races, at least all of them. I might stream maybe 1 or 2 of them, but it won't be something that I will be streaming, because it would be nice to have the odd Monday off here and there. But that is something to look forward to. Not the most powerful cars, but you can get the rear end out, drift them and slide them a bit. I think it's encouraged that drivers just race hard and lean against each other just a little bit. Just like your normal sort of touring car kind of series, even like XL kind of thing. Just get in there and have a crack. So if you are interested, obviously send Scruff or obviously Scruff, Matt Williams, Brendan Ross a message. Check out the Discord for the details, and hopefully see some nice grids in that one. So I do believe off the top of my head, like cars like the Puma, I think even other like normal road cars like the Lancer, and just stuff like that. Like those kind of road cars are in the mod. So certainly something to check out once this Monday series concludes after this final race. Alright, so good news. It has ticked over. You can see Bodge on the screen just swerving, and looks like he's going to have a big one. Yep, that certainly sounds like a couple of broken ankles and broken legs. But we didn't see it on our screen. And in fact, you can see this bloke down in the corner here. Arms crossed, sunny's on. He doesn't look too pleased. In fact, none of them look too pleased down there. He's some fantastic racing. I don't know why it'd be so unenthusiastic, but anyway, I guess them's the brakes. So a couple of these guys just unimpressed, a bit disappointing. They've seen some fantastic racing, especially some nice moves there into turn 1. And there's some fans up there. He's having a great time up there. It's got the guy holding the camera, but this guy, 2 hands up, touchdown. It is good. So he's having a great time up there. And then we've got the marshals. They're looking a bit stiff out there. Anyway, it is time for the reverse grid. We're just waiting for all the drivers to form up. Hopefully we don't have anybody jumping the start this time. Looking at you, Matt Williams. And away we go. So Glenn Miles will lead, will start the final race and reverse grid from pole position. Alongside him is Wayne Whitmore in the 2017 Renault-inspired F3 car. Joyner will start in third on the side of his car. He's got, it is sort of scribbled out the second half of that name, but it says no bullshit. So, yeah, they might censor it, but we certainly don't, because we're Australian and, well, we swear it. So, no bullshit. And Brownie in the Red Bull livery car, and I think Glenn Miles has actually taken out one of the brake boards down there.
He's lost his front wing.
He's lost his front wing, so actually, hopefully he goes back to the pits, otherwise he'll go into turn 1 on the start, and he won't be able to stop. So I'll just see, oh, he's clipped the grass on the other side and bang. So if I was him, I'd be pressing escape and starting from the pit lane, because he's not going to be able to stop in turn 1 without a front wing. So anyway, Brownie was P4. Ricky Slick starting fairly high up in P5. Behind him, Steve Bolger looking to continue that battle. P7 we got Mac Mittens. Matt Williams starting in P8. We'll be hoping for the jump start this time. Turmo in P9. He didn't set a lap time. Cracker again didn't set a lap time, so that's why he's down in 10th place. And Epoch, he wasn't, so he jumped into the warm up, and he's just some Randy that happens to have the mod and jumped in. So welcome Epoch, and let's hope you have fun and possibly sign up and race some other series should you find us on Facebook and stuff. Anyway, now will Glenn Miles into the pits. Does he even realise he's missing a front wing? Probably doesn't. Hopefully he does. But no, he's gone around. So he doesn't realise he's missing a front wing. I just hope that he gets a good start, and when he does go off, he doesn't affect anyone.
The only thing we can hope for is him understeering that much into turn 1 that he avoids causing an accident. It's a bit surprising that he hasn't noticed that he's missing a front wing as he overshoots his pit box.
It wasn't a small hit. Okay, he hit it front on, so you'd think that you might damage your car and you'd check it, but he hasn't. Anyway, couple lights, 5 lights, away we go. Steve Bolger's got a fantastic start there. He's around Brownie and up the inside. He might even try and get past Whitmore as well. He's having a look, but decides against it. Oh, a bit of contact between Brownie and I think that's Luke Joyner. And there we see, contact, yeah, there it is. So without the front wing, contact between Glenn Miles and Ricky Slick. I don't think Ricky Slick was too pleased with that one. And yeah, Glenn Miles looks like he's struggling to get around turn 3 there. Epoch there didn't have a great start, and yeah, there's Brownie after his spin down the field. So Whitmore leads, Joyner. Ooh, looks like it was ran in the back there. Oh, had a big off in the back there. Had a big off. There's Mac Mittens off. There's Turmo off. Let's just have a look and see what has happened. So here's Turmo here. What has happened? What has transpired? Oh, so looks like Mac Mittens has given Turmo a bit of a serve there. I wasn't expecting him to brake so late, and without the front wing, Glenn Miles just couldn't pull it up. As now we see Ricky Slick up the inside of Luke Joyner. He's already been past those guys by Matt Williams. He's up into 3rd, so up 5 spots from where he started. Whitmore leads. But I reckon we'll probably see Bolger get by. Might even see Williams get by as well. It's Bolger a bit wide. That's going to give position, at least for now. He'll move up to P2, but Bolger will have the slipstream, and he might even have the top speed as well. If he hasn't, yes, he has. He's already got past him, and now he's going to try and go around the long way, around the outside of the turn 1 of Wayne Whitmore. Whitmore hasn't given him much space, and now up the inside goes Matt Williams. Able to brake much later, but he's gone around. Got a little bit of a touch as he was already half around, so it'll be frustrating for Williams. So he's going to have to come through the field again, and now Ricky Slick up into P3, right behind Bolger. So where has Matt Williams ended up? He's down in 9th now, and he's probably going to be about 10 or so seconds behind at least, behind Wayne Whitmore.
Very eventful start there. A lot of spinning and some crashing. It looks like Glenn Miles has finally realised that his front wing is not existent anymore.
in the
as
pits.
Wayne Whitmore holds the lead.
Yeah, and I don't know if Bolger was wide or if it was just Slick trying to make a move. Slick trying to go around the outside at Pinheiro, and he's going to get it done. He's got the inside to Bico de Pato, and he's got the job done. So fantastic move there from Ricky Slick. And that's moved him now up into P2 in prime position to take the lead, because I think these guys are much quicker than Whitmore, who hasn't been the quickest this weekend. Already fantastic run out of the final corner for Ricky Slick. And Bolger wasn't able to get the job done. And Ricky Slick trying to make it pay here, but Whitmore's got more straight line speed than Ricky Slick, and is able just to put in front of him. And with that, see Bolger now right there with him. Bolger now trying to go around the outside and up the inside at turn 2. Slick gives him the space, so good driving, but that's going to compromise Slick just a little bit. It's going to allow Whitmore to get away, and might even allow Bolger to make a move into turn 4. And as you can see behind, Cracker making a move on Luke Joyner, and Steve Bolger also having a look up the inside. It's outbrakes himself a little bit, and straight back up the inside goes Ricky Slick. And behind, Luke Joyner is able to hold on. And Matt Williams about 5 seconds away, so he's not out of it yet, but he's going to have to make his moves quickly. He's going to have to get past Turmo, Cracker and Joyner just to get onto the back of this battle for P2. As you see, Whitmore looks like he's ran wide there at S, and always sort of forced Foley a little bit wide there. Might have to cut to a replay, so, well, not Foley, Slick. And around the outside goes Bolger. That's a fantastic move, so much more confident under braking, and he's made it around the outside at Bico de Pato. I don't think I've ever seen a move around the outside of that corner before. Slick trying to make the move, isn't able to do it at Cow, and that's compromised him, and now Luke Joyner is going to get by. Now, how much straight line speed does Luke Joyner have?
Well, don't factor out Cracker in this situation either. He's got a lot of speed compared to these other two.
Yeah, he's got a bit of top speed as well. Probably getting a double toe off the cars in front. Matt wins fastest lap of the race. There's a little bit of contact between Joyner and Whitmore. Now Mittens, oh sorry, not Mittens. Now Slick trying to get by on Joyner. So these 4 cars allowing Bolger to get away. To see Joyner try and make the move, and he gets the job done. Yeah, he does get the job done, and he put a little bit of time on Whitmore behind. But Whitmore will have the slipstream. He's having a look up the inside as Whitmore, but that's just going to compromise him really. And now Slick having a look around the outside. Now having a look up the inside, makes a dive, and Whitmore sort of turned in on him a little bit there, and in real life would have knocked his front wing off, but that was his own fault. Anyway, it's dropped him back just a little bit, and now he's fallen into the clutches of Cracker, who's got Mittens right up the inside. As we see Luke Joyner go around, and said he really had nowhere to go. And
looks like Mac Mittens was tied up in that as well.
Yeah, Mittens tried to make the move stick. Made a dive up the inside. We'll have a look actually. So, out of Bico de Pato, yeah, on the curve a little bit for Joyner, and it's unsettled the car. Joyner had nowhere to go. Joyner did start moving, so the stewards will have a look at it, but I think Mittens probably would have hit him anyway. Mittens now behind Matt Williams, which is quite crucial, but Williams 7.3 behind Bolger. So the race win is going to need to pull out more than a second a lap, which if you go by last lap, he was only, well, it's about half a tenth faster than Bolger. So if he wants to win this race, he's going to have to get a wriggle on. But he's certainly a chance to get on the podium. As we see Turmo and Cracker continue to duke it out. Wayne Whitmore not too far away either, he's just up the road. Already caught the back of this trio. So see, oh, looks like Slick's had a spin, and Bico de Pato is on the inside. Hopefully he doesn't beach himself on the curb. He's just managed to get over it.
Matt Williams has had a spin at the same time.
Ooh, Yeah, he has. So that's well, there goes his chance of a race win. So we'll just have a look and see what he's done. What has Matt Williams done? I reckon he's probably just gone a little bit wide and then just
and he's
gassed
done
it
it
up.
again. Sorry? Yeah, he's done it again on the final turn.
Yeah, so just gassed it up. Too much steering lock on and too much weight on those rear tyres. Now, he would have overheated his rear tyres, which is very easy to do in these cars. Yeah, just clipped the curb there on the throttle, around he goes. Everybody's able to avoid him, thankfully. He's gassed it up again, so that's dropped him down to 9th. We've had Glenn Miles DNF while all this has been going on. And we've got Epoch and Luke Joyner now battling out for 7th place. Right behind Epoch. He's out from the slipstream. So shades of Senna and Mansell at Barcelona, but Joyner gets the job done up the inside. And now setting his sights on Ricky Slick in P6. Further ahead though, Mac Mittens all over the back of Cracker. With Whitmore, Cracker and even Mac Mittens just a little bit more looking up there into S. Having a look up the inside, and Cracker having a look up the inside, and Cracker coming off second best. So he had a little bit of contact with Whitmore, and then Whitmore goes around. I think he might have had a little bit of a nudge from Mittens, but I don't think Mittens had anything to do with Whitmore getting sideways to begin with. We'll start right on board with Mittens just to see how that panned out. So yeah, Mittens having a look up the inside, as did Cracker. Cracker lost it on that contact, and then so yeah, it looked like Whitmore just lost it on his own coming out of the corner. Might have been slight contact, but by that stage Whitmore's already around. So Bolger has got a comfortable 7.3 second lead over Turmo, who's emerged from the absolute carnage in the midfield in this one, and he almost tries to throw it away himself. So pretty much whoever's in P2 down, they're just trying to throw it away at the moment.
I think it's a bit of a survival of the fittest at this stage from P2 down.
Yeah, certainly, there's a cripple fight out there. You get into P2, P3, and you have a spin. Oh, as you see, Mittens, he's gone wide, he's gone off. He's gone off at, I think it's turn 5. 4 and 5 there, so let's see done here. Oh, he's on very, very wide, and he's unsettled over the AstroTurf there. Has hit the wall. He's lost a lot of time, and now he's got Ricky Slick right behind him. Oh, he's got another slide on. Ricky Slick having a look up the inside, but the side's better of it. But Ricky Mittens' rear tyres will be absolute junk as he runs wide. He's almost beached it on the curving on the outside, but that cost him position to Ricky Slick. And now Cracker right behind him. Matt Williams trying to go around the outside of Cow of Joyner in front. But gets him on the switchback instead. Sorry, they was trying to go around the outside, but it's got a better run. So he got the switchback at Cow. I reckon Joyner might have him at top speed. So Matt Williams should get him under brakes, though. He has been one of the better drivers under brakes. Joyner is able to hold on, but Joyner goes round. Williams nowhere to go. So once again, we've had a driver spin and sort of be right in front of somebody. But Matt Williams now up into 6th place. Still Joyner, I think that's his 2nd or 3rd spin of the race. It is absolute carnage out there. So Williams now, that drops him a fair way behind Cracker and Mittens and Slick, as he had to slow down to avoid the spinning car in front.
So Turmo and Bolger must be loving this at the moment, having a bit of clean air to themselves.
Well, it's not been a great weekend for Turmo, but I reckon now he can just take it easy, really. It's just make sure you don't gas it up coming out of a corner and hit your braking marks, and I reckon it'll be a comfortable 2nd place, because 5.5 seconds to Slick and Mittens, even though they are faster, or they have been faster, they're both having a slide. As I say, that Slick's going to go around he goes, so he's lost it quite early on there. Lost it under braking, and that's going to drop him probably behind. Yeah, he's ended up behind Joyner there. So right to the back of the queue for him. It's almost like Indian file. Get to the front of the line, have a spin, and then you've got to sprint away to the front again. So
what a race this is turning out to be.
is yeah, very attritional. So now Mac Mittens in third place. I would expect him to drive away from Cracker, but where this race has been going and the slides we've seen Mittens have, I reckon his rear tyres might be a little bit overheated and a little bit worn out, so can't wipe that off just yet. We've got also Matt Williams 2.7 seconds down the road as well.
What about Epoch and all this? Up 5 positions.
Yeah, he hasn't had any practice, jumped in the warm-up, hadn't set a lap time. This is the one for the second race, might I add. Finished the first race, so he did get some, well, 12 practice laps in. I don't know if he set a lap in the second warm-up session, but he's out here again, having a crack.
He's living the dream, mate.
The dream, he hasn't spun it in this race, so that's why he's up in 6th place. Alright, lap times might not be the quickest, but he's not out there spinning like everybody else.
He wins the consistency award. Mid-pack consistency award, I should say.
Cracker have a slide and Matt Williams, so they're pushing out there and their rear tyres aren't liking it too much. Cracker on the curve there is able to save it. Williams did look or think about going up the inside, but then goes to the outside as Cracker loses it on the exit. I don't know if there's a little bit of contact. I think it was just getting on the loud pedal a little bit too hard there. And around goes Cracker, and Epoch now up into P5. So Cracker, so he got a bit of a slide under power from out of Big to Paddo. Again, got on the curve at Mogulo and lost the back end, so his rear tyres wouldn't like that. And then once again on the curve, on the power, and somehow Ricky Slick, Matt Williams avoided him. So it is all going on at the moment. And Matt Williams, he had to obviously back off, getting out of the way there. So he's dropped time to Mittens in front. Mittens on that last lap was the fastest driver, no, second fastest driver on the circuit. Ricky Slick was the fastest with a 30.8, with Mittens at 1 minute 30.9. So Williams was held up and he set a 31.4. Bolger 31.1 and Terminal 31.4. Again, see Mittens, he's pushing hard out there. He wants to try and catch Turmo, but I don't think he's not going to have enough time left. But he's certainly trying. He's sliding that thing all over the place. And I think we've had Williams have a spin as well because he's dropped further back. It was 2.9 seconds, and yeah, it's just 6 or 7. So it's just oh yeah, coming out of on the grass, and once again he's clipped the curb at Pico de Pato. Around he goes, so his rear tyres must be absolute trash as well at this point. Now Epoch behind, he's got Luke Joyner in his slipstream. Ends up trying to do quite close enough there. Well, I was going to say a little bit of a lock-up. It's quite a major one in the end. And Fern White has Epoch, and Joyner is at a good run through the centre S. Looks like Epoch, I don't know if he's just running wide or if he's actually just letting him go there, but either way, Joyner up into P5 for now. Epoch in the slipstream isn't going to try and attempt to move. So Joyner now in 5, up into 5th. So there's Ricky Slick very, very wide there, and there's a little bit of going on the exit to boot. Epoch wide there. Ferradura, Slick now up the inside, bit of a lock-up, but Epoch, sensible driving, gives him space, and no contact, but Slick now up into P6, Epoch down to 7th. A little bit unsettled there, Slick don't want to be using that curve. Did there, bigger to pattern, but people keep trying it.
Matt Williams had another big slide there. He's really pushing.
Ricky Slick is at a good exit out of it now. They're going to be side by side down to the pit straight and into turn 1. But Slick is ahead for now. Joyner does have good top speed though, and now he's back in front. And can Ricky Slick outbrake him into turn 1? He can, but will he pull it up enough? I think he has. He's got a good run out of turn 2, So I reckon he's got that job done. Now Luke Joyner's actually going to have to contend with the Epoch behind. He hasn't got left the back as yet. So he's at a poor first sector, 28-0 in the first sector. So yeah, Matt Williams, he's not too far behind him either. So another error from the third place driver. So the battle for third isn't over on the final lap. It's been a very quick race, this one. Williams is closing. Another little mistake there from Mittens with S. A little bit of a half slide there from Mittens. Again, bigger to patterns. Williams hasn't had a good exit. Half slide himself. He's taking the wide exit. He's gassed it up too much. Bolger has taken the victory. The final race of the series. He's very happy with that one, spinning like a top. Turmo, nice and consistent, avoided all the carnage, didn't have a spin like everybody else aside from Bolger. He'll finish a very nice P2. Mittens will hold on to P3, and Matt Williams and his 200-degree rear tyres will finish in 4th place. Ricky Slick in 5th place. Luke Joyner in P6. Epoch, solid effort from him, from the Randy. He finishes in P7. Cracker in P8. Brownie will finish 9th. Wayne Whitmore in 10th place, with Glenn Miles out only D and F. But what I am impressed with is all the cars down there at turn 1 at the runoff there doing doughies. 3 cars down there at the moment doing doughies and running amok. Epoch out there has just parked it up. Got to do some doughies, son. What are you doing? Got Matt Williams also doing doughies out there. Looks like with, I think that's Luke Joyner out there, or possibly even Mittens. I can't tell because they both have orange helmets in silver cars.
Mac Mittens. They're both paired up to do a few fat skids, mate.
Yeah, they were doing them in the race, and now they're doing them after the race, so I don't think there'll be much left of them. And I think Matt Williams has cooked his engine. Either that or it's just the perfect... No, it is the perfect skid. His rear right is spinning. His rear left wasn't. Absolutely perfect skid there from him.
The big one peg.
And that tyre would be absolute junk after that. But that concludes the final race and of not only the season, but also of the series. In future, there will be a rookie series, but that will probably be towards the end of the year, possibly. Or possibly it might even come back next year. But either way, had some fantastic racing this evening. Who would be your, I guess, driver of the day, so that can go across all 3 races, Josh?
All 3 races. Tell you what, mate. There's a few honourable mentions. I'm gonna have to say Epoch for race 3, for obvious reasons.
You could probably have 3 drivers. So Turmo, Bolger, and Epoch. None of them spun. I think for that third race, you just give it to all 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, mate. Race 2. Oh, I don't know, mate. I think everyone did a pretty good job in races 1 and 2. That was awesome. Some fantastic racing there between Bolger and Slick. Yeah, mate. Race 3. It's gonna have to be anyone that didn't spin. So.
Yeah, and then obviously second race there had a fantastic battle with Ricky Slick. Steve Bolger didn't quite have the pace and finished off third, but Mac Mittens and Ricky Slick certainly battle for the ages there in that second race. Obviously, the first one had Matt Williams just storm away from his pole position. Didn't happen in the second race, as he was a little bit too eager to get away and got a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. But certainly fantastic race 1 effort from him. But again, big battle for second and third place in that first race as well. So 3 races where we've had some absolutely classic racing, and hopefully that continues in the future sort of race series that Matt Williams and Brendan Ross are putting together. But anyway, we do have Steve Bolger in here in TB time. Normally we don't do interviews for the F3 series, but we might as well, being the final race of the series. So Steve, you're solid in both the qualifying, but yeah, both qualifying efforts. Couldn't quite nick a pole position, but you're nice and consistent and didn't make a mistake all evening.
No, it's pretty good. It's the first time I've actually finished all 3 races, I think, in the whole series. So, pleasant change.
Well, certainly. So obviously the last sort of month you've been really on the uptick, where you sort of cut down on the mistakes and you sort of kept that pace that you've always had in these Monday night series, but now you're starting to put that consistency. You're starting to put that consistency together.
Trying. Consistently finding the wall pretty regularly still.
Hey,
But, no, it's been good. Another great series.
You're consistently doing something at least.
Well, do try.
But obviously you had a bit of an epic battle there in that second race. Didn't quite have the pace, but you must have thought even on that final lap there that you're a chance to nick a win if anything happened in front of you there.
Yeah, just experimented in the second one, dropped a few turns of wing off, and so I picked them up on the straights when they were battling, but I didn't have the pace through this middle sector, so they kept getting away, and then that was too hard in the end.
Yeah, certainly did look like you were lacking there in the middle sector. And then obviously that third race there, you're able to get past Whitmore in the end. And once you got into the lead with everyone else battling really, really hard behind you, you're able to just edge away. And then you're one of only 3 drivers in that third race to really have a spin. So you're able to take a comfortable win there.
I was happy to get through. They looked like a lot of elbows out in the middle, so getting around Wayne was a bit made it easy when the boys kept fighting. So it's good.
Certainly. Anyway, congratulations on certainly I think in the Monday series, probably your best consistency-wise. You've been pretty pacey at a lot of rounds, but certainly your best, I reckon, consistency in just overall racing craft night in pretty much any series aside from that GT3 second place there. So well done.
Thanks, boys, and thanks for organising a great series.
No worries. Well, that'll just about do Josh, Ben, and I, but just little information on what is coming up at Automobilista Australia. I believe we have I believe we have, yes, the supercars this Thursday from Townsville. There is an update for all the files on I do believe Facebook and Discord as well. So that is the Automobilista Australia on Facebook page. So you'll need to, if you're not a member, you'll need to obviously request to join that, and you'll be accepted, and then you'll be able to see all the posts, and then there'll be information with obviously all the required files in the Discord, as well as a link to the Discord. But yep, I do believe that is taking place at Townsville. Yep, is Townsville on Thursday night. Just trying to think if TCAC is this weekend. I do believe they have a weekend off, but just double check. No, they've got a week break. So the TCAC series is on the 17th of July. So we've still got another couple of weeks another week for that one. That'll be next Wednesday night. Next Monday we have the Touring Car Championship. That'll be from believe it's the first of our little mini Australian league. I'm just trying to remember which one it is in the correct order. Just give me a moment here. Yes, that is from the Eastern Creek. That's from the shorter layout. I do believe that is the Gardner layout. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is the shorter of the Eastern Creek slash Sydney Motorsport Park layouts. Lap times will be about a minute or so long. And then the penultimate round of the Touring Car Championship Series, which will be in about a month away. That will be from Adelaide. And I'm not sure when the TDC that Matt Williams and Brendan Ross is starting, but there's information and required files up for that on Discord. Anyway, from Josh, Ben, and I, we hope you enjoy this evening's racing, and we hope you enjoyed the F3 development series. But we'll catch you on the racetrack. Have a good one.